Hi, I'm Holly Bell, I'm a recipe writer and I blog at Recipes from a Normal Mum. I'm back in the Scoff kitchen today for the Keep Calm and Bake series to make homemade Jaffa Cakes. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So, small saucepan, and just put your gelatin in there and your sugar, and then half of the orange juice. And then I'm going to heat this really, really gently until the gelatin dissolves and the sugar as well. Okay, so that's ready now because all the gelatin and the sugar have dissolved and you can see there's nothing left. That's really important. Now add in the rest of the orange juice, straight in, give it a little stir, and then you need a bowl that's about this big, okay? This doesn't have to be exact, but what you're trying to do is get enough of a covering of the jelly that when we cut out the circles for the Jaffa Cakes, that they're sort of thick and you don't want too thin circles of jelly. So just pour that into there, and then that just goes straight into the fridge to set. So I'm going to make the sponge for the Jaffa Cakes now. It's a fatless sponge, which means we need to whisk it over some simmering water. Now make sure that the bottom of your bowl isn't touching the water in the pan. Keep the heat on quite low. You don't want it to be sort of boiling over, otherwise you'll scramble your eggs. So we're going to put 1 egg in, and then I've got some caster sugar, and I've got some vanilla extract there. And then just use a handheld whisk like this, electric whisk, to whiz it together. So you know it's ready when you lift up the mixer and it leaves trails, okay? Take it straight off the heat. What you don't want is to leave it on because it will carry on cooking and you could end up with scrambled egg at the second stage. So just take as much of the mixture as you can off, and then take your plain flour here and sieve it over the top. So fold in your flour. So the aim is to fold it as little as possible, but make sure that all the flour is incorporated. I do love a Jaffa Cake. I really like the combination of cake, the oranginess, thick chocolate. There's just something about them. Absolutely love them with a cup of tea. So what I've got here is a non-stick tray. This is like a fairy cake tray. And I have greased it with melted butter, and then I've then let that sort of solidify, so that what you don't want is the butter melting into the fatless sponge, because the whole point is it's fatless, which is what gives Jaffa Cakes that slight dryness to the bottom. Just give it a little shake, little tap, and then that goes into the oven, and it barely takes any time at all. Okay, so these are out of the oven and they're really well cooled. I've also melted some dark chocolate and added a bit of olive oil, and that has cooled down as well. It's not re-solidified, but it is nice and cool, because if you add that hot to the jelly, you're going to end up with melted jelly, and that's not a good thing. So the first thing to do is to take a tiny bit of marmalade and just add it onto each of the Jaffa Cakes. And now we've got the jelly here that has completely set. Look, I've got here, it's an interesting cutter. It's a tea light candle holder, which is kind of the perfect size. So you just press it into the jelly and then press it on top. We're going to add this to the top here. And then when we've done all of these, you just let this set. So here they are, the Jaffa Cakes are ready. They taste absolutely fantastic. I have just had a little bite of one. If you like the recipe, do let me know. And of course, send me pictures. You can tweet me at HollyBellMummy and at ScoffFood. You can also tag me on Instagram with the same names. Hope you like the recipe, and I'll see you next time.